Vida. I work for Cambridge Archaeological Unit and I'm a zooarchaeologist. This is a story about a special kind of Middle Bronze Age settlement which we excavated when we were invited to dig before AstraZeneca building was put up in one of the hospital complexes on the southern edge of the city. Working in Cambridge can often be difficult, but as part of this huge development, we were able to see big pieces of landscape open up in front of us, and we've identified occupation which ranged from Middle Bronze Age and through to the very end of the Roman period. As part of this site, we've excavated a special kind of triple enclosure, double or triple ditch system. That these are relatively rare in this part of the country, and it would have looked a little bit like this reconstruction which you can see on the right side of the screen. This enclosure complex did contain other forms of evidence, but animal bone was probably something that was the most substantial. And what was clear was that it was heavily dominated by cattle. And we know that cows were the preferred food species in this part of the world because it was low-lying and grassland, and it was ideally suited for rearing this kind of livestock. Animal bone confirmed two special indications. We had pig remains from one of the ditches in the enclosure B, in the internal enclosure, the middle enclosure. And we know that the pig does allow the greatest level of mobility, and the first initial settlers, those who came to construct this complex, probably brought a pig or two with them. They started to dig these ditches, and this is where we have the earliest, in the same context, we're getting the earliest C14 date from. The other ditches were then added, and then they bring their herds of cattle. But we did wonder, given that the archaeobotanical samples generated very little in the way of seeds, it almost felt sterile or empty. We did wonder why the explanation behind the vast numbers of cattle. And then we were able to see that these droveways, these ditches that were funneling, that we used probably to funnel or lead the cattle in and out of these enclosures, we thought that it was the place had an almost like it was an important central place, almost like a market maybe for redistributing cattle.